You ever catch yourself staring out over Detroit's skyline in the dead of night, heart pounding, and wonder if this right here, right now, is the moment everything changes? Like the city itself is holding its breath, waiting for something. Bigger than just a win, something that finally snaps the curse that's clung to the Lions for decades? They say hope's a dangerous thing in this town. But what if I told you there's a secret? A whisper behind the scenes at Ford Field that inside the walls where Dan Campbell's biting kneecaps mentality isn't just a catchy phrase. It's a living, breathing force, and someone's been quietly conjuring a storm that's about to shake the entire NFL to its core. Light up the comments if you feel that fire burning too, if you're Detroit Lions. Faith isn't just intact, but roaring from the rooftops like a war cry from the Motor City's soul. Behind closed doors, rumors have been swirling, whispers that the next seismic shift in Detroit's defense isn't a headline-grabbing superstar yet, not the names you've been hearing screamed from the stands, but a man whose very presence demands attention, a second-year cornerback, who stumbled out of the gates but has since become the embodiment of what it means to fight, adapt, and rise. They say the Lions haven't just drafted players. They've drafted mindsets. And no mindset fits that mold better than Terrion Arnold, a name that's been haunting opposing quarterbacks ever since he surprised everyone by falling all the way to 24th in the 2024 draft. But it wasn't a slip, it was a calculated gamble. By Brad Holmes and Dan Campbell, because they saw beneath the surface. They saw grit where others saw rawness. They saw a challenge mentality where others saw only potential error. Terrion Arnold, for those who haven't yet felt the tremors he's causing, was thrown into the fire without mercy. 8 penalties in his first 4 games could have crushed a lesser spirit, could have buried a timeline that was already tight. Yet, here's the shock. He didn't just survive. He evolved in real time, shredding the mistakes of his rookie year to post 0 flags in his last 5 games, adapting with a speed and fury that no one outside the Lions' inner circle expected. This isn't a rookie with flash-in-the-pan skills. This is a warrior puzzles into the very fabric of Detroit's identity, a city that stood up from the ashes of heartbreak after heartbreak, mourning every loss since '91, each one bittersweet but never the end. From the days when losing felt like a sentence rather than a season, to now, when a 27-7 record over 2 years has transformed disbelief into desperate hope. We all know what it means to rebuild not just a team, but a spirit. What if I told you Terrion Arnold is more than a player? What if he's the missing keystone in this fortress, the one who completes the defensive puzzle many thought was missing? Consider it the physicality to press receivers like a brick wall, the mental steel to endure relentless coaching that would shatter ordinary souls, and a raw hunger that feeds on adversity. Dan Campbell's defense isn't built on talent alone. It's forged from unshakable mentality, and Arnold was handpicked for this crucible because he breathes that fire. But here's where it cuts deeper the Lions didn't just stumble upon. This gem, they fought, strategized, and yes, traded up to secure him, betting not just on his athletic gifts, but on the kind of intangibles you can't teach. Relentlessness that's woven into Detroit's DNA. What if this isn't just another draft pick? What if it's the linchpin of Detroit's dazzling ascent, a catalyst that propels a group of disbelievers into a true force that strikes fear across the league? But what if the pressure breaks him? What if the weight of expectation suffocates the kid who's become the city's hopeful savior? That's the razor's edge we're teetering on. You can almost feel the tension shimmering in the air. The kind of pressure no defender has felt here since the legends of Detroit's past, yet with the raw capability to shatter the ceiling. That's trapped this franchise for years. And if all of this Arnold's rapid growth, Dan Campbell's unyielding coaching, Brad Holmes' vision comes together in that perfect moment, what does it mean for the future? Are we watching the birth of a dynasty? Or just a spark in the dark, waiting to be snuffed out by the merciless march of the NFL grind? Brace yourself, because if this domino falls, if Terrion Arnold's rise explodes onto the national scene as the Athletics insiders predict, then Detroit isn't just coming back to contend, we're coming for blood, for respect, for a chance to rewrite our story forever. And as the countdown to the season's first snap ticks ever closer, one question haunts every fan's soul. Who else behind the scenes is ready to break through once that spotlight hits? Because this isn't the end of the story. It's the ignition of a revolution. And the Motor City's roar is about to shake the football world to its core. Enough silence. Roar now or forever be forgotten. Do you feel it, Lions fans? That tremor beneath our feet, that primal pulse pounding in our chests, something raw, something feral is awakening in Detroit. And it's not just hype. It's the very essence of a city that's clawed its way out of despair so many times before. Remember those bleak days, the 0-16 nightmare that etched itself into our collective soul, a scar that refused to fade, a relentless reminder that Detroit always had more in it. More grit, more fight, more of what it takes to rise from ashes. Orlovsky's safety, Calvin's impossible catches, Barry's final run all moments etched into our DNA, proof that Detroit refused to give in. No matter how many brutal blows we took, no matter how many seasons felt like punishment instead of promise. And yet, despite decades of heartbreak, here we stand, looking at a team that almost seemed unlikely to turn the tide until last season, when after years of rebuilding, we defied the doubters, pushed deep into the playoffs, making the league. Sit up and take notice, and now with that momentum, a new superstar in the making in Terrion Arnold, ready to rewrite the narrative. But what if all of this glorious rise is just a prelude? What if behind closed doors, amid the hustle and grind, our front office is quietly orchestrating a move so audacious that it will shake the league's foundations? Think about the chess match that's been unfolding. Rivals whispers, NFC. North mind games, subtle mind tricks to rattle our confidence, while we secretly craft an unstoppable nightmare for anyone who dares stand in Detroit's way. This city's history is soaked in moments where seemingly insurmountable odds were just stepping stones. Caldwell's firing after the playoff collapse, Jim Schwartz's comeback after losing the NFC Championship, the ghost of Calvin Johnson's retirement haunting the Ford Field halls. Whispering, the city waits in anticipation, holding its breath. As the season's first explosive clash approaches, will history repeat itself? Or is this the night Detroit finally claims its throne? And when that moment comes, will we be ready for what's coming next? Because if this fall to despair happens, if this injury storm swallows us whole, it's not just a season lost, it's the end of an era. And Detroit's waiting for the last shot to turn it all around, or watch it all burn.